Hey everyone, hope you're doing well today. So it seems that we have a new, very liquid rumor regarding something that I always really wanted to see, and I'm sure a lot of you wanted to see as well. Apparently, according to this website, Lucasfilm is developing Kylo Ren prequel with Adam Driver. Now, of course, this is super, as I said, diluted and liquid, but from what they're saying, maybe there could be some truth to it. So let's read it, and then we can think for ourselves. So they say, closer to Christmas, we'll finally get to lay eyes on Episode 9, and it seems Disney is working on several tie-in comics to help heighten the anticipation ahead of December 20th. Which is true, we're going to be getting the Kylo Ren comic coming December 18th, which is going to be really cool. If you remember, I talked about it briefly and the synopsis that we got from the cover from Marvel just a couple days ago, where Luke actually was fighting the Knights of Ren with Ben, and there was one Knight of Ren in there who had a red lightsaber that we've never seen before. They go on to nod towards this exact comic. Then they go on to say this. According to sources close to WGTC, which is their website, the same ones who told us about Ewan McGregor's Obi-Wan return back in May, Lucasfilm is planning some sort of Kylo Ren prequel, and Driver is reportedly involved. It's unclear if it'd be a movie or a Disney Plus show, which I'm going to say right here, I'm pretty sure it's going to be a Disney Plus show, and is only in the early stages of development right now. But they apparently hope to explore Ben Solo's younger days and look at what made him into the villain we saw in the sequel trilogy. So this, if it's true, dude, this is the coolest thing since sliced bread. Well, not really, but it's still pretty sweet. This is definitely something that I want to see. So Kylo turning to the dark side is a completely dark and no pun intended, dark and mystified part of Star Wars that we really don't know about, and I'd like to learn a lot more. What really pulled him to the darkness? What was it that was so evil within him that caused Luke to want to kill him? Now, I think that part of the storyline is completely just terrible, because Luke Skywalker was the one who always saw the good in everybody. You know, Anakin did a ton of terrible things to become Darth Vader. He killed kids, you know, nothing is really worse than that when it comes to Star Wars. He killed children, younglings, and including the entire Jedi as a collective, pretty much. Not to mention all of the other horrendous things that he did that we've even seen in the canon comics and Legends comics and all the comics with Vader in general. And yet, he refused to believe that Vader was purely evil. Now with Kylo Ren, I really fail to see how he would see that there is no hope for Ben to turn to the light side ever again. I mean, if Rey can see it, and she's constantly fighting for him to turn to the light side, then I really don't see how Luke couldn't see that. So for me, that part of Luke's character was written inconsistently with the other characters and with Luke in general. But hey, that's just my opinion, and it's not for everyone. Now, as for making a Kylo show during this time, I think it would be really cool, because we would be able to see his adventures maybe with Luke Skywalker, because before The Last Jedi, before The Force Awakens, before Ben even turned to the dark side, he spent a lot of time with Luke. And they went on these adventurous little escapades through the galaxy, finding old relics from Jedi and Sith and holocrons and this and that. And eventually, he came in contact with Snoke, who obviously Luke must know, because he said that Snoke was already turning and tormenting his mind, turning him to the dark side, much too late for him to be any good anymore. So maybe we'll get to see Snoke's backstory in this show as well. I mean, I would believe that we would. And maybe we'll even see younger flashbacks of himself, and they'll cast Finn Wolfhard or something like that, who I think looks like Kylo Ren, you know, a lot, just as a young kid. There's a ton we can see from this, depending when they start the show. We could see him learning how to use the Force, or learning that he's Force sensitive. We could see him and Luke talking about Darth Vader, or seeing holograms of Anakin Skywalker during his younger years. We could learn about how he joined the Knights of Ren, how he met Snoke, more about Snoke's powers, more about Kylo's powers. A whole different backstory on Luke. I could even see them putting Mark Hamill in there. This is the backstory that we need, and it could almost pivot to seeing Luke between episodes 6 and 7, I hope. They go on to say details beyond that remain unclear, and with everything else they've got on their plate right now, we imagine it'll be a while before this project gets off the ground. There's also a chance that it could go in a different direction or morph into something else entirely. After all, look at how the Obi-Wan movie ended up as a TV show, while the Boba Fett film was outright canceled. Which is true, it might completely be canceled, but I highly doubt it, because they have a lot more invested in Kylo Ren, as he's a sequel trilogy character, and in my opinion, it just seems like they really care about their sequel trilogy characters, and they don't really care much about the older ones, the legendary ones that have been part of the prequels or the originals. So I don't really think a Kylo Ren prequel would get canned. I think it's going to be an amazing show if they make it, or a movie or trilogy or whatever. So it's definitely something that I'm on board to see, and I think it's just going to be part of the roster from Disney+. We also know they're making a plethora of different Marvel shows on Disney+, such as, Vision and so on and so forth, Loki, and more of them. So this is definitely something that could be put onto that service, and I really think it would be. However, with Disney+, you don't get the buzz of a movie opening at 200 or 300 million, which creates a big buzz. So let me know what you think about this potential rumored show. I think it would be a really cool idea, and it's something I really want to see. So let me know down below. Hit like if you enjoyed it, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Until then, remember, the Force will be with you always.
Now, fulfill your destiny.